Hey guys, welcome to Dumping Debt Friday. I'm Kelly from Freedom in a Budget, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope that you hit that subscribe button. Stick around. I am all about living life well on a debt-free life. I started this series back when I was in debt, and then I actually paid off all of my debt this past March. So I am 100% debt-free, and I am just loving living life and not being constricted to debt and not being just being a slave to the lender. It's an incredible feeling, and I hope that you will get there someday soon. So I have some really great questions from you guys. If you have a question, please leave it down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer in an upcoming Dumping Debt Friday video. All right, let's jump in. First one is from Olivia Simmons, and she says, I have a question about sinking funds. How do you account for the withdrawal transfer from sinking funds? If it's addressed in another video, please post a link. Thank you for your videos. So I actually just did a video on sinking funds, but what I do is I keep all of my sinking funds in one savings account, and then I keep track of them in my Excel spreadsheet. So if you watch my budget report card, you see every single month, actually every 2 weeks, I do bi-weekly budget updates for you guys, but I keep track of them in the Excel spreadsheet. So if I need to know how much I have in my building fund, I'll go and look in that. If I need to know how much I have in Christmas, I'll go look in that on the Excel spreadsheet. And then I just transfer the funds out and into my checking account if I need to make a purchase, or after I make the purchase, I make the transfer. I do leave a little bit of a buffer in my checking account so that the money is there, but if I do have a big purchase, then I'll transfer it out, and then 3 days later, whenever the transfer is completed, because it is separate accounts, my sinking funds are held in Capital One 360, and then I do my normal checking in Bank of America. So sometimes it does take 3 days for the money to transfer, so I'll just wait when that comes, and then I'll transfer it. But go check out that sinking fund video. I showed you step by step how I do it, and it's a really good tutorial. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from it. Mutha Tucker, I want to make sure I say that correctly. Mutha Tucker asked, did you pay off your student loans in 2016? Why are they included in your budget reports? Great question. So if you guys have watched my budget Excel spreadsheet, you see that I still keep my debt box in there. And I've actually got a lot of questions of why I keep it there. And that's so I can see where I've come from. That's so as I'm going through my budget, I don't forget of the sacrifice that I made when I was paying off my debt and saving for my wedding, and how hard I worked for that, and just how much of an accomplishment it was, and how hard Jamie and I worked. So I want to keep that in the forefront of mind. I also want to make sure I don't go back into debt. You know, when I'm seeing that there, and then I was $23,000 in debt, holy cow, I don't want that again. So I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything that's going to get me back into debt, like signing up for credit cards or loans or anything like that. The only debt that we will be taking on is a mortgage when we do decide to build or buy a house. We're leaning towards building, but who knows what's going to happen in 5 years or so. But like a new car, I really need a new car, but we're saving cash for a new one, and I want to keep that in there so I don't just go out and be like, all right, let's just finance one. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of saving. No, like that's a great reminder of seeing that debt in there. I don't want another debt. No, I like being debt free. All right, Let's Get Fit says, I guess I would be considered a free spirit. Started budgeting for a new year. Any suggestions of how a 67-year-old woman who never really followed a budget her whole life gets started? That is a great question. So Sandy, I'm so excited for you. I love watching your videos and doing Weight Watchers with you. And I'm excited to see that you're crossing over into the budget world. That's awesome. So just track your spending. That's the biggest thing, is so many people, they just swipe, and they have no clue what they are spending. I did a spending analysis video, so definitely go check it out. I'll link it down below. But basically what you're gonna do is go through all of your bank accounts and anything that you're purchasing, and write it all out. And find out, I know you're a pen and paper kind of girl, so write it all out. Find out how much you're spending on groceries, how much you're spending on eating out, how much you're spending on personal items, how much you're spending on all different things. And then you can really see how you're gonna build your budget. Do 3 to 6 months worth of spending analysis to really see where you're at. And then you can see, oh, I can cut back here, I can cut back there. I am way overspending in this category. I am doing really good in this category. You can kind of see where you're at. And it's really just gonna help you build that budget and be able to stick to it. But when you do build your budget, keep in mind it takes about 3 months to get in the swing of things. So if the first month you go way over budget, don't get discouraged. It is very common, but just keep on going. Keep on chugging along and you're gonna do great. And I'm here if you have any questions at all whatsoever. All right, next question is from Katie Wage, and she says, hey girl, I love all your videos. I recently got engaged and I'm planning a wedding. Me and my fiance currently only have $3,000 saved up, and have asked our parents for help, and they said unfortunately they don't have the money to help. I know you went through the same thing with your parents. I'm starting to have resentment knowing my parents are not even trying to help a little. How did you deal with this? Sorry for the long question. I'm just so sad and kind of angry I have to do this all on my own. So, I know where you're coming from, trust me. My dad didn't help a bit. I'm really lucky that he actually paid for his flight to come down to Florida. He lives out of state, and I thought I was gonna have to pay for his flight down. So just the fact that he did that was incredible, but he didn't help me for a penny of anything with the wedding, but that's okay. You know, I know that's where he was at financially. This was actually really challenging for Jamie's parents because when we started talking about getting married, we didn't have any money saved up for the wedding. We barely had $1,000. This was before we started Dave Ramsey. And, you know, they always said, hey, we have sons. We don't have to pay for a wedding. All we have to pay is a couple $100 for a rehearsal dinner and our clothes, and that's it. Yeah, until their son wants to get married to a girl that has no money and her parents have no money. So it was a big eye-opening experience for both of us, but they were able to save a little bit of money and help us out, but we cash flowed everything. Was there some resentment with my dad? A little bit at the beginning, but then, you know, I understood. And the fact that we were able to save so much and pay for so much of it on our own and we didn't take out any loans, that it was so much pride in that. Such a great accomplishment. I had a couple of coworkers that got married around the same time that I did. We actually had 3 of us on our team that all got married within the year. And one of them spent over $100,000 on her wedding, and she came out with a lot of debt. And I was like, you know what? My wedding, I think it was just as pretty as hers was, but I didn't have that debt. I didn't have that coming out of it. You know, we walked away and went on our honeymoon and with not owing a penny to anyone, which was awesome. So, you know, just do what you can and save money where you can, cut costs where you can, and do a lot of it yourself. If you're getting married on Christmas time, I know that you can save a lot on decorations because most of the places are already decorated for Christmas, which saves a huge amount of money. Or if you're doing it in the summer, depending on doing it on off season, down here in Florida, the summer is actually off season for weddings because it's so hot. But depending on where you are in the country or even the world, do it on an off season. Find out when wedding season is and do it on an off season. You're gonna save so much money that way. All right, next question is from Diana Jean. She says, I am so inspired by your videos. Here's a question. How do you get your husband to tell you exactly what and how much money he spends? I'm so impressed. It makes such a difference. So he doesn't. Nope, he doesn't tell me. We actually joined bank accounts when we got married. So I have access to all of his accounts. He has access to my accounts. When I changed my name, I still haven't changed my name because it's just so much paperwork and everything with Social Security and whatnot. But when I do change my name, we're gonna put each other's names on each other's accounts. But right now we just have access to each other's accounts. So I just log in and log it all on the spreadsheet. All right, last question is from a Sensible Living with Money Mom. She says, hi Kelly, if you do not have enough in a sinking fund to pay something, car repair, medical, etc., do you pull from another fund? I love how you look at your budget mid-month. Great question. This is a really big question. So if you have a car repair or something like that, that is an emergency. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull from the sinking fund, and then if you have any money left over that still needs to be paid, you take that from your emergency fund. Right now we're making more a month than typical, and we are able to really fund our sinking funds, you know, funding our emergency fund and different things like that. So if something did come up that was, you know, $1,000 or $2,000, we wouldn't pull it from our emergency fund. We would just pull it from that monthly cash that's left over. But if you are paying off your debt and you don't have that, then you would pull it from your emergency fund. So I hope that answers your question, and if you have any other questions, please let me know down below. I'd be so happy to answer them for you. I love these videos. I love doing them with you. I feel like it's a really great way that I can connect with you guys. So let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.